So, step 5. Sellers develop the final solution with the customer. Buyers select the solution option, and we have a step 5 presentation. So there are two types of presentation in step 5. One of them is that we looked at in step 4. That was the project definition workshop. Yeah. So presentations to validate project details and sign statement of work. Does that say lose the deal early? That's a typo. That should say close the deal early. And take part or lead the project definition workshops. Yeah. So as I said, we've got two types of presentations happening within stage 5. Yeah. First one is a project definition workshop. This is less of a presentation, but you will be using a beamer and a projector for the Americans. The Americans, by the way, think that a beamer is a BMW. The Europeans know better, and they know that a beamer is a beam me up Scotty type of projector type thing that displays PowerPoint slides onto screens. Yeah, there we go. Bit of general knowledge for you. I bet you didn't know that. So the project definition workshop or workshops between your guys and their guys, slides, documents, papers, milestone listing, project plans and work. Roll up your sleeves, get to work. Presentation skills demanded because certain things need to be explained again. Agreements need to be made. And so there is immense great opportunity to use presentation skills within this project definition workshop and to use it as a way of platforming and profiling your professionality and your way of working with them. Yeah, so there's great stuff available as win potential in step 5. The other type of presentation is at the end of step 5, where you get everybody into the room basically to sign off on the details. Now, this is a possible area where we can close the deal early. Yeah, if all of the key decision makers are within that presentation environment, if you've got them all there, you've got statements of work ready to go, ready to sign, then it is acceptable. It is dangerous, but it is acceptable to say at the end of the presentation that the purpose of the presentation is to sign off on the details, and you have the documentation here ready for signature or ready to leave for signature at the end of the presentation. Yeah, it's unlikely that people will sign off at the end. It's more likely that people will sign off at the beginning if they're going to sign anyway. And maybe it's just a formality, but sometimes it means that you can close deals early. Yeah. I hear some of you saying, no, Tim, no, we will need to negotiate. And yes, you're right, you will need to negotiate. In 99.999999% cases, you will need to go to the negotiating table. But for that one minuscule percentage of situations where you don't need to negotiate, there are good reasons that you don't need to negotiate, and that is where the customer is losing money and losing capability without your products and services, and they see that the negotiation process itself is just going to slow things up and change stuff, and they don't want to go into it, and they've got the budget, they've got the money, so why not just sign off here? Yeah, it happens. Not very often, never happened to me, but it happens, apparently. So be prepared for it. Yeah, get your stuff in order, take your statement of work, ask if they can close early, and they can only say no, and you go through to step 6 and the negotiations details anyway. Yeah. So finally, there is one more step 5 presentation, and that is the beauty contest. The beauty contest describes the presentation at the end of the RFP process. So where the shortlisted respondents of the tender process are invited to do a 30-minute, 1-hour presentation so that the customer can make their final decision. Yeah, actually, the customer has already made their final decision, and they're just checking out who's the sexiest vendor or presenter. And generally speaking, it's very, very rare that within this kind of presentation, you have a chance of changing exactly who wins the deal. So here's the deal. If you've already won the deal, the chances are you will know this. Yeah? I hope you do. I hope it doesn't come like a bolt out of the, oh my God, we won. I think, generally speaking, if you've been in a tendering process, generally the winners know who the winners are and who the winners are going to be, because it's me. So if you're going to win, then you probably know that. So if you're not going to win, then you don't know. Good, huh? So if you don't know anything, you've lost. That's putting it kind of simply. Which gives you an opportunity. Yeah. Opportunity number 1, be really miserable. Opportunity number 2, accept that you've lost and use this opportunity in step number 5 to cause as much damage to the people who are going to win as possible. Make promises that your competitor will then have to live up to in their negotiation stage. Suggest impossible things that you would have been able to do that nobody else would have been able to do. Sling mud in a very diplomatic way that nobody actually knows that you're slinging mud at your competitor. Yeah, suggest that they're useless. Suggest that you wouldn't trust them to sit on a toilet correctly. Suggest that they're incompetent. No, don't do any of these things. Be ethical, blah, blah, blah. But if you were there at a beauty contest in step 5, you've done a hell of a lot of work, right? And that work has added value. So if you think your competitor's rubbish and you're brilliant, then make sure you tell them that you're brilliant and why. Because all of that information will potentially lead to your competitor not having such a profitable deal as they thought they were going to have, because now they're going to move into the negotiation stage. Doesn't change the fact that you're probably going to lose. Anyway, we had a lot more positive stuff at the beginning of this film, so if you're miserable and depressed now, just wind back a bit and just watch the first half.